Hey guys, before we start, I made this art for Avengers Endgame a couple of years ago along with a short animation. And since I have no one else to really show it to, I'm just gonna plop it in front of here and kind of force you to watch it anyway. Sorry. How did the Avengers lose 14 million times? That's a lot of times to get your ass kicked. Insane idea, I know, but today we'll be dissecting the 14,605 outcome plot point in Avengers Infinity War. This sounds like an unfathomably insane number at first, and well, that's because it is. To figure out as many of these outcomes as possible, we gotta at first tackle the logistics of this. And keep in mind, I'm not a logistics guy, but I've had more than enough time to think all of this over. At some point, I will just make some leaps in logic, especially when I get down to the most minor specifics, just to make sense of this chaotic concept. So in short, Doctor Strange looks into the future, sees millions of outcomes and carefully places them in the one where they win. The MCU wiki doesn't state whether you can look through others' perspectives, so I'll just assume he can only look through his own. This will be important later. Strange's main goal is to get to that moment 5 years later, where Tony kills Thanos. But what does he have to do to make sure that happens? What factors must be present for that to happen? Scott needs to survive to relay information of the quantum realm and time travel. Tony needs to be alive to invent time travel. Spider-Man probably needs to die to motivate Tony to create time travel. Steve needs to lead the team, get the scepter, acquire extra pin particles and the Tesseract for when they eventually fuck up, and lead the charge against Thanos. Black Widow needs to live to inform the team that there are 3 stones in New York, and she needs to sacrifice herself. Hawkeye needs to live to be the one to sacrifice her. Banner needs to become Professor Hulk and snap his fingers. This is one of the most important ones, by the way. Nebula needs to tell the Avengers where Thanos has gone so they can be informed that the stones were destroyed. She needs to have knowledge of Vormir. She needs to kill her past self to stop her from giving Thanos the Infinity Stones. And her being present does also alert Thanos of what they're doing and their whole plan, so that's a whole can of worms in and of itself. Captain Marvel needs to save Tony and stop Thanos from snapping multiple times. Thor needs to relay information of the Reality Stone. He needs to kill this initial version of Thanos so that he's no longer a factor. He needs to bring Mjolnir to the present to save himself and Steve, because let's be honest, he might not have survived this battle without it. He also needs to stop Thanos from getting the stones right here. And everyone else in Endgame is important by proxy. Everyone, no matter how big or small, has a role. Professor Hulk snapping is the most important one because he is the one who brings everybody back. And it takes him years to become Professor Hulk, and therefore the only one strong enough to both physically and mentally bring everyone back. It's not just about pure power, it's about the logistics of the whole business, and being able to mentally fathom bringing everyone back safely